Are you looking for a dynamic pattern to show off a really big print? Then our new pattern, Charisma, is perfect for you. Let's make it together. Hi, it's Fran Morgan with Fabric Café. Do you have a big fabric print that you don't know what to do with? Then our new book, Big Block 3-Yard Quilts, is perfect for you. It has 8 different patterns that can show off really big prints. Today, we're going to be making the Charisma pattern from this book. Now, if you're new to 3-yard quilts, this is how we select our fabrics. We always choose 3, and they're each 1-yard cuts of fabric. The number 1 fabric, which is what we also call the focus fabric, this is the fabric that usually has the biggest print because the placement of the focus is going to be in the bigger area of the quilt. Now, it could also just be your favorite fabric that you really want to showcase that means something really special to you. Now, we're going to take this fabric out of the equation. So that one is set. We're going to look at our 2 remaining fabrics. Our fabric number 2 is usually the lightest fabric of these 2. So we're comparing these. So fabric number 2 is the lightest. It falls to the background. So in that position of the quilt, we want it to be the silent partner so that it gives your eye a place to rest. Then we look at our darkest fabric of these 2 remaining. Our darkest fabric is our number 3 fabric, and it's usually that pop of color or that border around a block. It's what gives us our little shazam, our pop, our wow, and really highlights our focus. So that's how we choose our fabric. Now, I've got even more fabric ideas to show you at the end, but first, let's go check out the pattern we're going to be making. So today, we're going to be making the Charisma pattern, and this is such a cool pattern. First, we have a very large 13-inch block, and this is really cool because it's bordered with the fabric 3 here, but the next block is bordered with fabric 2. And this is actually made in a great big strip assembly, which makes it super fast, very easy. Now, we've alternated these big blocks with just another block right here that has a half square triangle right in the middle of 2 rectangles. Now, this is going to be very easy. It's very minimal half square triangles, and we have a few tricks to show you how to make sure you get them turned just right. And when you put it all together, it creates this great movement, and it does what we really want. Shows off a beautiful fabric. So let's get started. I start every project by making labels for everything that I have to cut from each fabric. I just go down my list of cutting instructions and make a label for everything in bold and my borders and binding. After that, I start cutting all of my fabrics. Because the blocks are so large, I recommend using a large square ruler to cut all of your large strips and blocks. As always, I make my first cut a little bit past the edge of my fabric so that I can rotate it and square off the edge. I'll do this for the first cut of each of my fabrics. After I complete each cutting step, I will put it in a Ziploc bag with its label. I'll do this for all of my cuts. It keeps it all really organized. When you're cutting squares from a width of fabric strip, if you keep your fabric folded, you will be able to get 2 squares at once. This will really speed up your cutting. One of the best things you can do as a quilter is to have multiple sizes of square rulers so that you can cut whatever size blocks or rectangles you need easily. If you're struggling to keep your ruler straight, you can put something heavy on it, like a weight, to keep it from moving. Next, we're going to draw a line from corner to corner on all of our fabric number 2 squares for our half square triangles. There are only 29 half square triangles in this quilt. We're going to sew our squares together using a scant 1/4 inch on each side of the line. Chain piecing your half square triangles together really speeds up the process. After we've sewn all of our half square triangles together, we're going to cut them apart and trim them. I like to use the slotted trimmer. This lets me square the half square triangle and cut off the dog ears in one step. Then we're going to press all of our seams open. This ensures that they will lay nice and flat in the quilt. We're going to be pressing all of our seams open for this quilt. Next, we're making our strip assembly A by sewing long width of fabric strips of our fabric number 2 onto each side of our fabric number 1 strip. We're sewing them on the long edge. We like to use Mary Ellen's Best Press as a starch or sizing when we're pressing. It makes your seams nice and crisp and leaves no residue. We're going to use our big square ruler again to cut our units. This is a good way to make sure that all of your units are nice and straight. Next, we're going to chain piece our fabric number 2 strips onto one side of our unit A's. We're going to cut those apart and repeat on the other side. After we press and trim, we'll have our finished block A. We'll need 3 of those. We're going to repeat the exact same steps to make 3 block Bs, only this time we're using our fabric number 3 strips. For our block C, we'll be sewing together a rectangle, a half square triangle, and another rectangle. It's helpful to lay out your units to make sure that you are sewing your blocks together correctly. You'll know you're sewing your rectangles to the correct side of your half square triangles if the colors match. We'll be making 9 of these. We'll be making 3 different types of rows for this quilt. Row A is very similar to our block C. We will just be alternating rectangles and half square triangles, making sure to match those colors. For our row Bs, we are going to alternate our big blocks with our block Cs. Our row C is made almost identical to our row B. We just swap the placement of our big blocks. Now that we have our rows laid out, we're going to start sewing our row A's together. Sewing from left to right, we'll alternate sewing half square triangles to our rectangles until we have 4 row A's. Next, we'll sew our row B's together, sewing our big blocks to our rotated block C's. We will make 2 row B's and 1 row C. Once all of our rows are done, we will start at the top of the quilt and sew our row A to our row B. If you put a pin everywhere a seam meets, it will help your rows match up. Be sure to pull your pin heads and not sew over them. We'll keep sewing our rows together, alternating rows A, B, and C as shown. Now that all of our rows are sewn together, we'll sew the borders on and then we'll have a finished quilt top. Now we have our charisma top all done, our borders are on, and let me tell you, this was such a fun pattern to make. I really enjoyed that it was a fast pattern with a big block. And you know, if you're making gifts and you need one in a hurry or donation quilts, this one is gonna be perfect because it went together in a snap. I just loved how fast it was. And I really like how dynamic it is. So when you give it as a gift or donation, they're gonna think, wow, look what they did. It's just beautiful, and you're gonna go, yeah. And they're gonna love it. Now, let me get you the kit information for this gorgeous fabric that we've been working with. It is called Crystal Swirl, and once again, it is the Charisma pattern from the Big Block 3-Yard Quilts book. Now let's look at some more fabric inspiration for this pattern. Wow, look at this one. I love this jade green in this and this big block with these deer on it. I think it is so, so pretty. And we were just talking about gift quilts, and this would be a lovely gift quilt, I think. I think it kind of has a little bit more ruggedness to it, or even for a great log cabin or mountain lodge. It's so fun. I really like it. And boy, does it show off that beautiful focus fabric. Love the pop of color in the jade green too. This kit can be found online on our website at fabriccafe.com, and it is called Highland View. Now this one is fun. This one has some water lilies on it, and don't they look like they're floating in a pond? I love the two-tone of turquoisey blue in there to make it look like water, and those beautiful, beautiful blooms on that lily pad fabric is so pretty. I just like it so much. I especially like the way the focus fabric's on the border of this one. I think it really highlights it super well. Now this beautiful combination is called Tranquil Waters, and it can also be found on our kit tab at fabriccafe.com. So our next fabric combination has got these great horses on it. I love how it looks like they're just free in the fields, running and having a glorious time. Highlighted perfectly with a nice cream number 2 fabric and a nice brown number 3 that has some horseshoes on it, but it's kind of a red brown, and it's the perfect color to coordinate with all those ponies running free. Now this kit is called Wild and Free. This pattern was so much fun to make, and it looks great in so many styles of fabric. What was your favorite combination we showed you today? If you would like to see all of the other patterns in this book, be sure to watch the video that pops up. Happy quilting!